Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Yes, I'm in my car. I'm actually at work and I am on a lunch break, and so I figure I will come and talk to you guys. So I wanted to just sit down and have some underwriting talk with you guys, because I do acknowledge that a lot of the people that have subscribed to my page have come because I do post information about my career in underwriting, and I haven't really did a kind of a sit down chit chat talk to you guys about specifically underwriting. I vlog and I do incorporate my work day. I talk about things I'm dealing with at work as an underwriter, but I haven't sat down and given you guys any like underwriting information or contact in a little bit. So that's what I wanted to do today. So whether you are looking to change careers, or if you're already in the insurance industry and you're interested in moving up, or you're interested in doing something totally different than what you've been doing before, this video may be for you. So today we are going to talk about the different categories of underwriters. And for those of you who are new, or those of you who are still supporting me even though you have no idea what an underwriter is and you just want to watch, I will explain what an underwriter is really quick. So an underwriter is a professional who evaluates or analyzes risk involving people or assets. People meaning it could be like life insurance, or assets meaning your auto, home, boat, your business, things of that nature. So the underwriter is the main link between the insurance company and the sales agent. We review risk, we review applications, and we determine if we are going to accept the risk, and we price the risk, we negotiate, we set stipulations, things of that nature. Underwriters basically determine the pricing for an acceptable risk. Now, you have all different types of underwriters, okay? You have underwriters who do specific lines of business, as far as maybe you have underwriters that only do like cyber and technology insurance. You may have underwriters that only do life insurance. You may have underwriters that only do auto, or they may do multiple lines. That's not what we're talking about today. Today, we are talking about the category of underwriters, and this is what I mean by that. So you have your back office / desk underwriter. You have a production underwriter. You have a business development underwriter. And then there's also field underwriters. So your back office / desk underwriter is typically what you will see a lot, okay? And basically all that means is that you're underwriting from your desk. You don't have to go out into the field. You don't have to go out to the agency. You're not really that responsible for agency engagement. Of course, you will be engaging with agencies from time to time. You will be engaging with carriers depending on what type of underwriter you are, meaning if you're working in an agency or if you're an underwriter for the actual insurance company, because there is a difference. But that is not what this video is about. So your desk underwriter, like I mentioned, they typically sit at a desk. You receive applications into your task box, or however the company maneuvers the work or divvies out the work to you, and you sit at your desk. You review. You use software. You use the web. You use different things like that to find the research you need to underwrite, things of that nature. Not a lot of travel, maybe 0 to 10% travel, but there's typically not a lot of travel, okay? All of my underwriting jobs, I have been considered like a desk underwriter. So with this type of underwriter, typically you are doing new business and renewals. Depending on the company you are with, they may split out the work, so you may just be a designated new business underwriter, meaning you only review new business that's coming in. You don't deal with renewals. You may not deal with endorsements, things of that nature. You strictly do new business. When I worked for Allstate in their Advantage brokerage a few years back, That's what I was. I was a new business underwriter. I did not touch endorsements. I did not touch renewals. I was shooting out new business acceptance proposals all day. That was my job. And then you have underwriters that do renewals, okay? They will only be responsible for renewal business that's already on the books. So they are making sure that those renewals are available anywhere between 30 to 90 days out. They are reviewing claims to see if they are going to offer a renewal or maybe credit or debit the policy. They're not re-underwriting, but they are reviewing to make sure the risk is still acceptable. And that is what their job consists of, specifically renewing the book of business. When I moved to Georgia, my first job was with a company where I was a renewal underwriter. So I mainly only did renewals. Now, before I move into the other categories of underwriters, I will say when I first moved here and I was interviewing with the company that I ended up working for, the hiring manager asked me, are you the type of person that likes to meet people, go out, be very, client facing, or do you like to kind of just be at the desk, do your work, things of that nature? And, I said, of course, I like to do both, but if I could have a choice, I would like to sit at a desk and be assigned applications to review. So based off of my answer, they did not assign me as a new business underwriter because the new business underwriters were responsible for having to go into the agency from time to time, things of that nature. They assigned me as a renewal underwriter. So I was strictly at the desk doing work. With any company you're with, there are going to be some type of goals that will be involved or some kind of production activity or I don't want to say SLAs, but it depends on how you look at it, how your company looks at it. But there are certain metrics you may have to meet. So for instance, it may be they want you to be able to push out a certain amount of applications a day or review a certain amount of applications a day. It just depends. So moving on. So the production underwriters, they're basically responsible for increasing sales by way of existing clients and securing new business customers. So for this type of underwriter, you will want to have excellent customer service. You'll want to have product knowledge. You probably will have higher goals as far as, since you're a production underwriter, they're going to want you to produce. So if you're in sales, now this may be an underwriting position that would interest you. This type of underwriter is very goals driven. You probably will have a premium threshold you will have to meet. You have to have a very good rapport with existing agents, kind of really having to go back for that follow up on applications you sent out. Hey, how's this looking? We haven't had a buying request yet. Do you think we can get the business? Do we need to negotiate? What's it looking like? You probably will be in various agencies that your company is partnered with just to show face and be a presence there in case anyone needs assistance while on site. So you kind of have the agency engagement plus the underwriting plus the sales portion of it. And again, not every company has this type of underwriter, but there are underwriters like that. There are companies that set up their underwriting department like that. So if you want to be more hands-on, you like building relationships, you like the thrill of, having goals to meet, you like the stress of it a little bit, by all means, check out production underwriting. Okay, next you have your business development underwriter. So typically with business development underwriters, they will be assigned like a territory. So maybe like the West region or the Southeast region, or they will be responsible for like a group of states. And their job is to basically achieve profitable growth, which would include underwriting new business. They would be, underwriting renewals or, really going to back to get renewals either renewed flat or make sure that the policy renews, especially if they are big policy holders. They're a little bit more hands-on as far as endorsements and transactions, not necessarily processing them, because 9 times out of 10 you'll either have an underwriter assistant or operations team or processing team that will process endorsements. But a lot of the times with business development officers, you're like that contact person, and it's usually for like really bigger policy holders that have a lot of premium. The business development underwriter, they will kind of be their go-to person. So if they have a question about billing, or if they have a question about anything, they usually go to that business development underwriter, and they will get the answer, bring it back to them. Plus, they're responsible for underwriting. They travel a lot because, like I said, again, you're assigned a region, you're assigned a territory. This position is big on managing agency relationships. So, for instance, my company, we don't have business development underwriters. We have underwriters, and then we have business development officers. So the business development officers do not underwrite. They basically are the people to help build the business. So for instance, our workers' comp business development underwriter, he's over all of workers' comp. So that's for all states. So he's constantly flying out to Houston or flying out to California, because we have now a big presence and big policy premiums in Florida. They'll go out there and they'll build relationships with the agencies. They'll take them out to dinner. Typically, you'll have a company cell phone, a company card, expenses and things like that are paid because you're managing relationships. You're also building new relationships, you know what I mean, to help build the business in that region. So our company divvies that out, all right? Some companies, they put it together again. So not only are you developing the business, but you're also underwriting it. And also in this business development underwriter position, their job is to identify new business opportunities. So relationships are important, okay? Relationships are important. So lastly, because I got a few more minutes before my lunch is over, let's talk about a field underwriter, guys. Okay, so a field underwriter not only underwrites, but they go out and they inspect the property, or they inspect the product or asset, whatever they're insuring, and they determine whether or not the company should approve the application in providing the coverage for the house or the car or the boat or the business, okay? Now, where you will see a lot of field underwriting will probably most likely in your personal lines insurance industry, meaning like your home, your auto, high value home, things of that nature. But also on the commercial and agricultural side. So, like if you're insuring like a farmhouse or a restaurant, things of that nature. There are companies that do still offer field underwriting jobs. Now, when I first moved to Georgia, I was interviewing with 2 companies. I ended up working for one of the companies that I interviewed for. But the other company I was interviewing for, it was for a field underwriter position. And this position would have came with a company car, a company credit card, company cell phone, because the company is paying you to go out into the field and, like I said, go inspect the asset. And when you inspect it, if everything looks good, you can underwrite the policy. It was a lot of travel. So if I would have got the position, I would have been traveling like southern Georgia. But God knew what we needed, and we didn't know everything was going to shut down for COVID. And who knows what that would have done for my job, because it would have been very more out in the field versus at a desk where I could work from home. Now, with a field underwriter, you can work anywhere too. Like I mentioned, you're going to be in the field actually going out to locations, sometimes underwriting in your car or your laptop, you know what I mean? It's very out there. And if you're that type of person that likes to move around, be out and about, you like to travel, maybe production underwriter or business development underwriter or field underwriter may be something you want to look into. Now, eventually in my career, I've always wanted to travel in my career, and I still do. But right now I have small children, and so I just know I can't do that right now. But preferably in the future, when they're older, I would like to be able to have the opportunity to travel a little bit and go visit some of the agents or agencies that I work with and build that relationship and, you know, try to win new business. I think it's not sales. I don't want you to think of it as sales. Now, like I mentioned, the production underwriting portion, some of that can be very salesy, But an underwriter, you're typically not responsible to meet a sales goal. You have other goals to meet, okay? So I hope this video was interesting to you. I hope I was a little bit clear about a few things. You know, do your own research and see kind of what you like or what you like to do. And if I leave you with the last thing before I head back into work is, don't be afraid to apply for things that you want, even if you don't think that you're qualified for it. You never know what could happen. You never know. I always say, get the interview and get in front of the person. You know what I mean? Because you could never know what happened. And if nothing comes from it, then at least you have the experience and you know how to be prepared next time for your next interview. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this underwriting info content, and I will see you guys in another video.